Hello everyone, and welcome to this Argus Market Insight video. My name is Alex Nichol. I'm a senior market reporter covering U.S. aluminum markets. And today I just want to take you through kind of a quick snapshot of how markets have been reacting domestically with the onset of the U.S. and Israel-Iran war that has been going on for the past week and a half. We've already seen some volatility, and so we wanted to kind of give a picture of how market participants are reacting at this time. But before we begin, I'd just like to bring your attention to Argus Media's group notices. You guys have seen these before, but yes, please just take a minute. All right. Before we get into how it's really affecting U.S. scrap markets, we need to take a step back and look at the broader picture of what the disruptions through the Strait of Hormuz means for aluminum overall. And so the U.S. has imported about anywhere from 16 to 22% of its annual needs of unwrought aluminum from the Middle East region, either from the UAE, from Bahrain, from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, or Oman. So roughly counting for a fifth of U.S. shipments as a country that is dependent on imports. Obviously, it's going to cause some disruptions in the market that we're seeing right now. Most notably, when going to scrap markets, we've seen it affect the intrinsic values the most. The LME cash official has risen steadily, or rose steadily, I should say, in the immediate aftermath of the onset of the war. But we've seen it actually come down over the past couple of days to start this week. As well, that's also pushed up the Midwest transaction price, as index reference premiums have also increased steadily before falling shortly thereafter. That's kind of created some of this volatility that we're seeing in how buyers are trying to price the scrap that they're looking to source domestically right now. So what does this mean for the broader market? Well, we're seeing domestic rolling mills, extruders, and brokers trying to widen out their buying spreads for the higher quality grades of aluminum scrap. We saw it immediately on Monday of last week, right after the weekend where the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Iran. Guys dropped by 1 to 2 percentage points right off the bat before any type of reaction occurred in the intrinsic values. And they've slowly tried to widen out since then, trying to offset that strength in the Midwest transaction price. There's been varied success with that. Some grades lend themselves to holding discounts firmer than others. 5052 clips, for example, 5182 clips as well for the most part. Anything that's still seen as a cutter grade or a prime replacement is still being sought after, but mill qual or rolling mills, extruders, and brokers long forward positions has also precluded them from really coming into the spot market in force, allowing them to further widen spreads. In the secondary market, we're seeing smelters face added input costs that they've already been experiencing with the run up in the Midwest transaction price over the past year. Lack or reduced availability of secondary grades of scrap have added to that cost pressure as well, and higher intrinsic values related to the supply concerns from the war have forced them to raise bids or have forced them to be priced out of the market in some cases. Conversely, producers have preemptively raised offers for A356.2 alloy. Usually this alloy is primarily made with primary aluminum. So obviously the disruptions from the Middle East and the continued tightness and availability from primary aluminum from Canada because of the 50% Section 232 aluminum tariffs has put a strain on availability, or what producers think will be a strain on availability for the A356.2 foundry ingot grade that's used in aerospace and automotive components as well. In export markets, we've seen exporters of 𝗔𝗹𝗄 trying to source off the U.S. East Coast. They have faced shipping disruptions and higher logistical cost, especially for those that go through 𝗔𝗹𝗄𝗅 in the UAE, which is a hub for transshipment from the UK, from Europe, from the US East Coast to the Indian subcontinent, as it were. Market participants are expecting, prices to drop for Zorba domestically on an FAS basis, which would relieve some pressure on the overall Zorba market, as it were, at least for buyers in that regard. Pretty much people are expecting India to be priced out of the market for the near term, depending on how long this goes, which obviously reduced demand is going to weigh on prices, as it were. Overall, though, exporters going off the west coast of the U.S. to Asia, exporters are able to ship around the Strait of Hormuz and don't have to deal with the direct implications of the war. They're still going to expect higher surcharges from the shipping lanes come April as well, which may feed through to higher prices, as it were. This is just a quick update of kind of like how we're seeing the markets react for the most part. If you guys have any further questions, here's my contact information. I would love to say that Argus is having a booth at ReMA National in Vegas, booth 1444. I will be attending. I would love to meet with you there if you guys are interested to talk more about how you're seeing the markets react to the war in the Middle East right now. I believe you can click in the link below to schedule a meeting or to connect with someone at Argus to learn more about our services. And with that, thank you for attending. And yeah, I look forward to potentially meeting you. Have a good one.